Hello everybody, how the devil are you? This is Sirhc for Sanitarium.FM, shining the spotlight on another game. Today, it is
Graveyard Keeper
by Lazy Bear Games. Billed by the developers as the most inaccurate medieval cemetery sim of the year. So, what is
Graveyard Keeper?
Well, story-wise, your character is transported to another world, quite possibly after dying from being hit by a car, and tasked with the job of being the new
Graveyard Keeper.
Which means you're in charge of preparing and handling the corpses that are regularly delivered by a talking donkey. Oh yeah, this game is as quirky as they come. Along with the performing of your new duties, there are also other tasks that you can take on, all working towards your main goal of returning back to your own world and to your love. Starting the game, you'll run through a tutorial quest chain, pretty standard for the genre. You'll be introduced to a few important NPCs and shown the basics of corpse and graveyard management. Corpses you need to take to the autopsy table to perform an autopsy. During this, you can take pieces from the body to keep. Don't ask why. You'll find out pretty quickly. At the start, this is just a slice of human meat. Delicious. But as you upgrade your technology, you can take bones, intestines, and other pieces too. And as for the body disposal, you can take the body to the graveyard, dig a new grave and bury it, which nets you a burial certificate which can be sold for money. However, the basic graves actually reduce the overall quality of your graveyard, so if you'd rather not do that, or if the graveyard is full, you could dispose of the bodies in other ways. After taking the pieces you want, of course. Beyond these tasks, there are plenty of others you can try. Early on, you'll be given a sword, which can be used to hunt slimes and at night bats, for instance. Although you can choose to explore and do your own things instead if you desire. Talking to a new NPC will generally give you a new task to do for them, to increase your relationship level with them and unlock more options. The tasks along with the relationship levels for your NPCs you have met will be stored together on a handy page for you. These are just the basic outlines of the tasks though, so if you've left a task for a while in pursuit of other things, you may need to head back to the NPC and ask for some more information on how to proceed. Gameplay wise,
Graveyard Keeper
is very much in the Harvest Moon or Stardew Valley farming simulator, except instead of maintaining a farm and crops, you maintain a graveyard and corpse. I wonder if the crops to corpse wordplay was the impetus of the whole game. Later in the game though, you will actually have the ability to plant harvestable crops into your garden, which makes the comparisons even easier to make. Just like the slice of life simulators,
Graveyard Keeper
is a pretty open sandbox experience with limitations, normally in the form of technology or items you need to open new paths, which can generally be overcome by grinding. In fact, using a whetstone and grinding wheel to fix your tools gives you tech points to spend on upgrades. Performing tasks in the game, whether it be digging graves, cutting down trees, fighting slimes, or performing autopsies and stealing body parts, all use energy, which is represented by a blue bar up in the top corner of the screen. When the bar is empty, you can no longer perform actions. To restore the energy, you can consume food and potions, or you can go home and sleep. Most NPCs in the game will only appear on certain days, which are shown near your energy bar in a circle, sort of like a little calendar. Each symbol represents a day, and the clock in the middle shows how far through the day or night you are currently. It's pretty easy to miss an NPC the first time you try to find them, as you move pretty slowly. There's no map in the game, so you need to explore an area and will sometimes catch that NPC on their way home, which means they will no longer talk to you. So you'll need to wait another week cycle for them to return. Fortunately, once you know where they are, it doesn't take that long to cycle around again, especially if you have planned in advance. You can always use your energy cutting down trees and then sleeping to restore it until the day gets closer. Visually,
Graveyard Keeper
It looks great, with some really detailed pixel art which gives you a kind of retro feel. And thanks to the smaller pixel size, you get a level of detail that just wasn't possible on earlier consoles. Audio-wise,
Graveyard Keeper.
has a nice soundtrack with some great music loops that don't distract from the gameplay, nor do they get super repetitive, with different areas having their own music. The characters in the game are not voiced in the traditional sense, but most of them do have nonsense syllables they mumble as they talk, which feels like a nice throwback to the days of the Nintendo 64, where games like Banjo-Kazooie used the technique of chopping up phrases and randomizing the samples as pseudo-speech, although they did it due to space limitations on the cartridges, but for older gamers who remember it, comes off as an endearing throwback.
Graveyard Keeper.
It is currently in alpha, so there have been some reported bugs, however I didn't personally experience any, and there are two noticeable things that show that it's not a full release yet. Namely, a few options, especially in technology, show not available in alpha or locked in alpha, and the other thing, there are grammatical issues quite frequently, mostly with people using singular when the plural should be used, or using a synonym that doesn't quite make sense, as if it was translated literally with little to no editing. But most of the points still get across, and you can follow along with the story. And there's also a point where Jerry, the skull, is referred to as Gary by the main character, who has previously always called him Jerry. It's just a little bizarre thing that I noticed. They are ultimately minor issues, but it feels like the game lacks the polish that it will hopefully have when it's out of the alpha stage. Overall,
Graveyard Keeper.
it is a fun and relaxing journey, filled with dark and silly humor and an addictive, I'm so close to the next upgrade style of play. The game doesn't take itself too seriously, even with the serious subject of death. But being set in the 1200s, you even attend a witch burning, but it remains lighthearted. Also, being set in the 1200s gives the player some dialogue about how the astrologer is crazy because he believes the world to be round instead of flat. Obviously, this is played for laughs in the game, poking fun at stupid beliefs that should have died out a long time ago, along with burning witches. An impressive release even while still in alpha. I'll give it an 8 out of 10 and finish burying this review. Thanks for watching. Remember to swing by the Sanitarium Discord to unearth more about games, music, and pop culture. Ciao for now!